What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How is your life?
Going.
So this is part 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just,
Whatever, just get into it.
I don't get it, but we'll talk about it. Those of you that know me know that I am a happy-go-lucky, kind of gal. And I woke up feeling good. But I made the big mistake of grabbing my phone after, you gave me a kiss and we said our good mornings. But I grabbed my phone and I go onto Facebook, and there's a post that I see first thing in the morning. Wasn't it first thing in the morning before I even got out of bed? A post that a friend of mine, how old was I? Oh my gosh. I was like maybe 19, had passed away from COVID. And so that's the first news I wake up to, and everything else just starts to come together. I mean, we lost 2 other friends and three. So a total of 4. And so all of a sudden I go from, hey, good morning, to all of a sudden, this happens, and I, just get a bit gloomy. So I turn in, and, Miguel's off to jiu-jitsu, and I'm here with the kids, and, the kids start going through some things, and they start fighting. They have their first altercation, like really like I've never seen my daughter pissed off.
Really, a real altercation is a real altercation.
Baby, if you were here.
Well, I didn't see it, but you said they weren't. No, they were still restraining each other. She was punching him. She was on top of him, punching him. If you would have seen the face in his chest, like on the side, like this. Yeah.
She was really, And then he goes to the side and kicks her, like really kicks her. And she moves back, and then she comes after him, and I'm sitting there because I'm wanting to see, okay,
who's gonna win?
Like,
is that what you're?
Are they going to? I'm just sitting there because I don't know what to. I'm just like, okay, like
the big one might beat the little one, but the little one's pretty angry.
Yes, exactly.
And you're like, I want to see what happens.
And so all this, Joey gets up, and I'm like, hey, and then they finally part. He gets off the bed crying, runs into his room, slams the door, and then I have my daughter on my bed crying, and I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. And so I go into Joey's room, because we're trying to figure out this whole parenting thing, and Audrey's going through some stuff because she's becoming a little lady, and Miguel, we took her tablet away, and she got unfriended from her crush's mom, and so she can't talk to him anymore. So she's going through a lot, and her brother just accidentally decides to tap her, and it goes from 1 to 10 immediately. So he's up in his room crying, and I'm trying to figure out how to take care of this. So I end up bringing them in the room together to talk about the entire situation, and to let them know that this isn't the way we resolve issues in this house, or in life for that matter. So here's a coaching moment for me.
Yeah.
And I'm in my head with life events that are happening. And so it was a bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
But I told them this is not the way we handle our differences in this house or in life. So I told them the next time either one of them is putting their hands on the other, that there's going to be
consequences.
There's going to be consequences. And that's the thing, is taking responsibility for the decisions and the actions that you make.
So you were saying earlier that you think, regardless of what happened, that if they start scrapping, they're both getting grounded.
Well,
no,
okay.
I'm just asking. I'm not trying to come at you or anything. I'm just asking.
Yes, that's what I said, because a lot of times we are not in the room.
No. No, we're not. And like we may be downstairs cooking or some shit. Yeah.
Don't know who started it because they're pointing fingers at each other. She hit me first. No, you hit me first. And we don't know the truth. So instead of punishing one because we don't know who to punish.
Well, one thing we can figure out is, I mean, they can say things, they can get mad at each other, but there is only one person that put hands on the other person first.
But how do you know which one when they're blaming each other?
Well, they eventually will get down to, like, Joey will say, well, you slapped me. And she's like, yeah, because you pushed me. And it's like, did you push her? Yeah. Well, then, you're the one that's in trouble. Did she touch you? No, I pushed her. Well, then you fucked up.
Yeah. I don't know, but... And the thing, too, with Joey, giving him his time to cool down. Like, when I went into his room, he was in the closet with the doors shut, and he was upset. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to respect. I need to give him the time to cool down so that we can talk.
Yeah.
You know, and what happened with me today, as you know, I ended up having to do that myself because I'm just feeling sad today. Like I am. I'm in that space, and just when I feel this way, I go to prayer. And so I have, a walk-in closet, and I normally, it's my bathroom, then my walk-in closet. And I had to go take some time, and I really just wanted to be alone today. And feeling that way makes you feel uncomfortable. Like you feel.
No, it's not that it makes me feel. I'll leave you alone all day if you need to be left alone. But if I have to sit down and talk to you during a podcast for an hour plus, I'd kind of like to know something. Because I have no clue what's going on. Yeah. Nothing. Like you're telling me that your friend passed away. And but it's a friend that, like you said, when you were 19, a friend that I've never heard of. Like, I could see a friend of mine from 19 that passed away, and I'm like, fuck, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm not going to be sad all day, like, especially if it's somebody I haven't talked to since I was, it's almost like a different person now.
See, but we're different in that manner. Like, I've known him for a long time.
And I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
And it's not just that.
And even if I haven't talked to you all day, I'm sure you'd probably want to know what the hell, like, because you just have no clue. Because in my head, I'm like, the fuck is, like, what is going on? Like, did a friend from like 19, 20s plus years ago, is that affecting you?
And not only that,
today,
once I saw that, and then I seen another picture of another friend who passed away. And it's so crazy because you hear older people talk about this. You hear older people, at least me, because I like to get in, like when I'm having a signing, I ask a lot of questions when it comes to someone, a couple who's been married for a long time and they're up there in years, just to talk to them about life. I love doing that.
Hold on. You guys get upstairs now or you're going to be grounded. Go now. I don't want to hear anything. Shut the door and lock it.
And so, sorry guys, the kids are like just...
Oh. Shut the door and lock it.
They're going to be...
You guys are going to be grounded. Shut the door and lock it.
So,
it's about as real as it gets.
Listening, right, to these individuals that I sit with, they talk about once you get to a certain age, you start to see people that that you've been close to and people that dying once you get to a certain age up there in years.
Holy shit.
No, like this is...
it's true though. Yeah. It is true.
And so today, I start thinking like of all these people that I've known passing away. And so, I got into my feelings, and that's okay. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to get in there and feel it. Like, I'm feeling sad. I know that, and
yeah.
And so
it is okay.
That's it. I just knew that I needed time to myself, and I needed to gather myself and allow myself to feel what I'm feeling, not to cover it up with smiles,
Yeah.
You know, because that's not something that I'm good at, right?
No, you're
like
not.
I wear my emotions on my shoulders. If I'm upset, if I'm angry, it's just hard for me to fake it, you know. But when you said, I know that we were recording this podcast today, and I gathered myself up together and I figured, you know what? The people that are watching want real.
Yeah.
They want, you know, a real podcast. They want us to be authentic. And so that's what I was wanting to give them.
Yeah. And I stopped it. So now can you honestly say that the way you're talking now and the way you're expressing yourself now is the same as you did when we started the last one?
No, I was
the last one you were about to fall asleep.
Upset. No, I wasn't. I was sharing with them the situation that happened with our kids.
I know, but it was kind of, life and sometimes, who knows what these kids.
I'm just saying I'm not here to be a clown.
I'm not saying to be a clown.
Well, I don't understand because when you were replaying the previous podcast, I don't think it sounded that bad. So today, when I was going through my situation after, I talked to Joey and Audrey to let them know that hitting is not, it's unacceptable in this house. And what I want them to start doing is talking to each other, expressing how they're feeling. If Joey's getting upset with Audrey, saying, you know what, Audrey, you're really pissing me off right now. No, I'm really upset right now.
Yeah.
And I just need some time because I don't agree with what you're saying and I need some time. And for him to go take his time, whatever, like they need to work it out. They need to talk to each other because we're not always going to be here, and it's okay for Joey to be upset and it's okay for him to take the time that he needs, however, if it's an hour or two, whatever he needs.
Yeah.
And so today when I got into, my feelings, I went into my closet and I thought I locked the bathroom, but I didn't. He walked in the bathroom and he went into the closet.
Yeah.
Or he tried to, but I had my foot there so that nobody could come in. Yeah. And I heard him asking you, Daddy, why is Mommy in the closet with the light off?
Yeah.
Right? And what did you tell him?
I told him, just leave your mom alone for a little while. Get out of there.
Okay. So after I came out, him and I started talking and he asked me and I told him because I was, feeling really sad and I needed to be by myself. I needed some time alone.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's how I feel when I get upset. And I'm like, I understand. And that's okay. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
As you can see, I need that time as well.
Yeah.
So it's just being able, and
you do that from time to time. Like you'll go in there and.
But he's never seen it himself.
No, I don't think so.
Audrey's
or they've never noticed. Like maybe you go in there and they don't even know where you're at.
Yeah, Audrey's seen it. Like she's walked in, you were gone, and it was early in the morning, and I'm on my knees praying, crying, and she's walked in with me or walked in on me doing that, and she got down next to me and started praying with me as well. And I think that I need to, because I haven't been doing it openly. I do it if they're not here, or I kind of do it without them being around. But I think for them to witness that, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like a meditation for you.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it's better to do it when nobody's here.
Yeah. But for them to see that, okay, Mommy's not always happy.
Yeah.
Mommy, needs time to herself sometimes. And so for Joey to see me doing that,
I think
it's good for him because then he can not feel different or weird.
Or maybe he'll think of it as a way to, when he's getting fed up or whatever, like he can maybe give himself a break one time. Or we can talk to him about it. Be like, hey, you know what? Why don't you go chill for a minute? You remember like Mom was in the closet? Just go relax. Just go hang out and calm down. Because he gets wound the fuck up, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah. And with Audrey, I had to have a talk with her too, because the reason why she got so upset when Joey smacked her was because she was under the covers and he smacked her butt by accident.
Yeah.
And that just like blew her up. And I'm like, Audrey, I couldn't see you under the blankets. I mean, I could have smacked you and hit your butt, you know?
Yeah, she just doesn't like people touching her.
You know?
Right now, she's going through this phase where she just can't have anybody touching her.
Yeah. And it's just because she's growing and she's starting to feel her body parts even without touching them. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're going through that, you know,
she's
your
just different.
breasts get
but she's just very
sensitive, and certain parts just get sensitive, and she is not. She's confused.
Yes, but aside from her body, she is different. She's always been different. Like she's just very uptight about everything.
She's not uptight. She's in tuned.
Babe, she told we went to Costco. She said she wanted to bust every wine bottle that was in Costco because she doesn't like wine.
Oh, that's me. I mean, when I was younger, I told you, like my mom.
Yeah,
drinking,
but it's not warranted.
What?
Like it's not warranted here. It's not like you're sloppy drunk all the time, and that's why she wants to bust every wine bottle.
No,
like if she had two alcoholic parents at the house, then yeah maybe.
Well, she saw me really drunk one time in
but you weren't
Mexico, and that freaked her out.
No, but it wasn't. You weren't doing anything either.
Yeah, I was
like you were having
cussing.
fun.
I was cussing.
You may have been cussing.
She's not used to me cussing.
Yeah, that's another one.
And I was being loud.
Yeah,
and she's not used to me being loud. And she's not used to me
the
cussing.
thing is that you were. It's not like it was a train wreck. It was. We were all having fun.
Yeah, but she saw another side of me that she didn't care for.
But it was all
that had
a fun
to do,
time.
And she connected that with the alcohol.
Maybe.
And so now she's like,
I don't know. I'm saying she's different. She's
At
very uptight about stuff. No.
Why do you say uptight?
Okay, because when you want to go out somewhere and you show a little cleavage, she's the one that will say something about it.
I'm okay with that. That means that she's not going to do it.
I understand, but she's got a problem with, she has
everything. A problem with drinking. She has a problem with cussing. She has a problem with dressing provocative. That's okay. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, we're not that way, so she needs to suck it up because it's not going to happen. Like, we're not a house full of freaking nuns here.
No, but if she wants to be a nun, I'm okay with that.
That's the thing, is that if she wants to be a nun, that's fine with me too. I don't give a shit. The thing is that you're not living in a world full of nuns, and your parents aren't nuns either. Yeah, like this is not what it is.
She will be very selective of her friends, and I'm okay with that.
That's fine.
And how am I? I mean, I'm like that with cussing. You'll hear me cuss every now and again on the podcast, but it's not often. And if it is, it's just because I'm talking to Miguel and
I make her cuss.
I don't know, because I normally don't. And how do I feel about that? Yeah, like you get on me all the time about that. Like, get over it. Because that's how I feel. Like, it's just not something that I care for. And I don't know how she got it because I've never expressed it to her.
No, you didn't.
So it's just she is who she is, Yeah. And that's okay. But yeah, you're in a world and not everything is all rainbows and flowers, and she's going to learn that. She's going to learn it. She's living in the world, but just it is what it is.
Yeah. It's strange though. Like where the hell did that come from? It just
yeah. I mean,
that's just part of her personality.
But
that's what I'm saying.
But it's weird.
It's part of her personality.
That way.
No, you're not.
With the cussing?
Yeah.
And being around aggressive people or drunk people? How am I?
With the cussing.
And people that overdrink and get rowdy.
That's not true either. That's not true either, because you do like to be around, like people could be
but it's fun.
No. Yes.
Not
yes, and
aggressive.
And that's what it was in Mexico, and she still had a problem with it. Yes, if you know what? I get uncomfortable when everybody's fucked up and people start fighting. Everybody gets uncomfortable. That's normal. If everybody's fucked up and they're having a great time, you know what that is? It's a great fucking time. That's what it is.
I don't know.
And that's what we were having in Mexico. I just don't get it.
Because ever since that vacation, she does not
but it's
care
the same,
for me to
it's
drink.
The same thing
like
with the clothes. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just part of her personality. It's freaking nuts.
Yep. And I love it.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a lot easier when she has a personality like that instead of, trying to experiment and, what's this about? And getting into shit.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Oh, so I asked Audrey, because I do with, just losing someone. And I say close because, man, we've partied so much together. I mean, it was before you, but, my friend and I, we partied a lot together. Yeah, I haven't seen him because that party, that whole, when I got with you, there was just a whole different, set of friends. Like we just I grew out of that
lifestyle.
Yeah. And so I started talking to them about being responsible, about washing their hands, and because they're going to school now, and, nothing was wrong with my friend. It happened. So anyways, I started talking to her about that and to be more aware, and, talking to Joey about that.
Was he out of shape?
Are you would you consider yourself out of shape?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well then, I guess, but our neighbor's friend wasn't out of shape. He was in shape and very healthy, and it happened to him.
Asterisk. So that's not the norm.
It is not the norm, but just because it's not the norm doesn't mean that you don't take responsibility on washing your hands and doing what you have to do. So I told her when she's at school just to, bring it again as a reminder. And then so I don't know how we started talking about it, but she said a lot of her friends are not attending school. And I said, yeah, because they're homeschooling. Their parents are having them homeschool. And she's like, Mom, don't even think about it. She's like, I'd rather get sick. I'd rather get sick
than keep homeschooling.
Than be homeschooled. She told me that. I'd rather get the coronavirus than homeschool. I'm like, Adriana, you're telling me, and I took it overboard. I'm like, you're telling me you'd rather die than be homeschooled? And she said, yes. I'm like, what?
Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, people are fed up, man. And actually, I was watching something earlier today. And you guys do your own research and find out. But Trump's former health official or whoever, Dr. Fauci, have you heard the guy's name? But I think Trump recently replaced him. But the old doctor, he said that we may not be getting out of this thing until the end of next year. He's like, and this winter season or fall season, we have to kind of stay on top of things because now this is when there can be a resurgence of it again. Is because it's cooling down, it's not as hot, and supposedly the virus dies when it gets really hot. Even though they said that, here in Arizona, it didn't slow it down. It stays the same. So I don't know.
Nobody knows anything.
Nobody knows.
I think that if we all just take responsibility for ourselves, we'll have a better chance, And there's so many people. I don't understand. There's so many people against wearing a mask.
Yeah, whatever. At this point, you're not convincing anybody. So people that wear masks, and people that don't. So there's it's fucking crazy. It's crazy how things become even we've talked about it before. It's like a political thing. It's like, oh, you wearing a mask, you fucking pussy. And you're one of these people. And it's like, dude, calm down. I'm just fucking putting a mask on. You're reading all that because I put on a mask. It's yeah, but there's no convincing people at this point. You either one of the people that wear it or one of the people that don't. But I don't think you're going to get one of these, fuck you can't tell me what to do. I'm not wearing a mask. You're not going to get them to wear a fucking mask.
Yeah. So.
But anyway. Yeah, with the kids and what's up?
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to talk about the kids and that Raising Lions book has been pretty good. I'm liking it. And there's a couple, there's one thing that I really noticed is when we're kids, when we're growing up, we're thinking, that we want to give everything to our kids or we want to make things as easy as possible. We don't want them to struggle, right? Yeah. And that is the worst. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. You start listening to this book and it's And I've kind of had that. Like, I've always thought people are too fucking soft. Like, just giving kids everything. Mm-hmm. You know, like everything is perfect and you're so special and everything is great. And oh my God, look at that. Wow, I've never seen. And
you used to give me shit about that.
Yeah, I did. But it's just everything. It's like they're way more capable than what they lead on to be. Yes. And there's like, really, if a kid can do something, you should let them do it. Like, don't do it for them. And that's one thing that listening to this book, it's almost like he hasn't said it yet. I don't know if he's going to say it in the book, but you're pretty much supposed to make their life as difficult as possible within reason for their age. Yeah. Like, whatever they can do, they should do. You shouldn't be doing stuff for them.
Right.
And if they're like, oh, because the thing is that they'll come up to you and like, oh, I can't. And when they figure out that when they say I can't or they bring it to you, then they're going to start bringing other shit to you and more shit to you and more shit to you. Instead of you telling them, no, go back and figure it out.
So here's a good example of that. And that's why I say these kids are master manipulators. If you are not aware, right? And I think I was becoming a little more aware, but I don't think we were aware. Like, we let our kids play us. Oh, and I'm bringing it to their forefront. I did it with Adriana today. Her being so sweet and compassionate and loving and sneaky. And I told her, I'm like, I see you. I say, I'm catching on to you and we see you. And she started kind of like, oh shit kind of deal.
Yeah.
You know?
I told her the same thing this week.
Yeah. Like, you know.
I told her, we're watching everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, she lost her tablet. So the other day during the week, the reason that she lost her tablet was she came downstairs, and this is a struggle that we have with her all the time. She came downstairs, makes herself something to eat, and just fucking left everything on the counter and went back upstairs to go back to school.
And
but she had time. She had time. No, it was breakfast. She was going back to school. So in the morning, or not even back to school, she was starting school. So, but she had time to clean up her stuff. She just leaves shit everywhere. So she left the toaster out, left everything out, and I'm downstairs working, and I can see the counter from where I'm working, and I can see everything that's left out. Mm-hmm. So I run upstairs, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And she has her laptop for school, and she's got the tablet right next to it, like standing up so she can see the tablet and see her screen. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, give me the tablet. So I took the tablet away, and then I go and I walk past her bedroom, and I see shit all over the floor. And I'm like, you're done with the tablet. You don't get the tablet back until I say, get downstairs, clean up the mess that you made, and keep your room clean. Don't ask me about the tablet, because the more you ask me, the longer I'm going to keep it. We'll see when you get it back. Make sure that you stay on top of your stuff, because we're watching. You know, and I still, like, we got to help her out. Because, like I was telling you, was it yesterday or the day before? Mm-hmm. Like, if you go too hard, like, you could just keep the tablet forever. You know, because kids fuck up. But it's not, it's like keeping, like the book was saying, is like, make sure that you're keeping the consequence, or like that you're not cutting the punishment short because you feel bad for them.
Right, which we did in the past.
We've done that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But you also don't want to go overboard, because I could just keep her, like, if I wanted to be nitpicky and a fucking asshole, I could just keep her grounded for the rest of her life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because she's...
I'm like, oh, there's fucking shit right there. Oh, and let's open up this closet now. And I was like, oh, look at all this shit. Now you're grounded even longer.
Yeah.
You know? So, and then when she's done, let's go look at your bathroom. Now you're grounded again. You know, you could do that.
Yeah.
But then that's also miserable for the kid.
So the reason why she got her tablet taken.
So that's why she got it taken.
Right.
But now we're keeping it even a little bit longer because she snuck it away.
Not only did she sneak it.
Yeah, she snuck it, and then she sent messages to her because she was telling me, can't I just tell my friends that I'm not going to be able to talk? And I was like, your friends will know that you can't talk when you're not talking. So when you get back, you get back. So she ended up sneaking the tablet away and sending her friends messages that she was grounded and that she didn't know when she was going to be back on.
Yeah. And she talked to me about that. And I think that as I think that maybe not at that time, but when you originally took the tablet away, I told her you should have asked Daddy, hey, is it okay just for me to send a text to my friends to let them know that I'm grounded from my tablet and I will not be, talking to them, because she's 11 years old. She has these friends that send her messages. And if you're not responding, they may think you're upset at them. They may think you're mad at them. They may think you're ignoring them. So I would have been okay with, you know what? Okay, let's go ahead and do that. And then I'm taking it. So, but I told her she didn't communicate that to you.
No, she didn't.
And she should have. So again, that's a coaching moment that I had with her about communication.
I don't know if that's right or not. Because like to me, what I'm thinking is like, what is there of importance that an 11-year-old needs to fucking know from another 10 or 11-year-old? Like, you know what? When you get your tablet back, explain to your friend that you were fucking grounded. Yeah. What are they telling you? Like, are they telling you secrets of the universe or some shit that you need to get back to them?
But at that age, babe, it's a huge thing for them. So just giving them that, I think, I don't know. That's just how I feel. So
maybe it's kind of like your friends coming to your door and you telling them you're grounded.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it's like. I don't know.
I don't know either. But, just to be able to, I'm trying to understand them too, where they are. You know?
Yeah.
So, and then as you can see, there's so much going on here. Audrey, I'm trying to get them to understand that every decision they make, whether good or bad, is going to reflect. So, okay. School. Okay, I'm talking to her about her grades and everything else because they asked me to talk to you about you yelling at them and making them feel a certain way. And so we get on the topic of every, decision you make it's going to create your future.
Yeah.
So I told her, I'm like, listen, Dad and I talked to them. You guys already know we grew up,
it's like that.
It was hard growing up. So I don't want to go through all that with you guys, but we grew up broke, and at least I did, in the ghetto, the projects, not having a bedroom set, not having a closet full of clothes, not having, just what they have.
It's kind of like that story of the millionaire with the kids.
Oh,
when the kids, they're like, we're rich.
Yes.
And the dad's like, we're not rich.
I told her.
I'm rich.
Yes. I told her, yeah. Dad and I, we've worked very hard.
It's like, we're set.
Yeah.
We have a nice house.
And that's what I was telling her.
We have cars.
We had 2 houses. I said, Daddy and I, we went to school.
It's like, we're doing
went
good.
To college. Like, we did everything we possibly could, to live the life we're living. And it's because of the decisions and actions that we decided to take. But this is ours. Like, if you decide not to do good in school, whatever decision you make, whether good or bad, you're building up to your future.
It's like you could live like this. You could live better than this. You could live worse than this.
Yep.
But it's all up to you.
And I could see her and Joey. They're like thinking, like, I think I actually connected with them.
Yeah.
Going through this and having them realize that, whether you do or you don't, it's your future.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's your future. I'm like, Dad and I, who knows? We may sell both houses and just go traveling.
What if we have one of those midlife crises and we just start buying cars and blowing everything and we don't leave anything for anybody? There
was a couple that I did a signing for and they said, because I asked them, I'm like, because they were very well off and they were talking about their kids and they were talking about their kids. And it's so funny because they're empty nesters now. And they said, oh, yeah, we had a conversation with our kids. They said everything that we have that we worked hard for, it's ours. It's ours. And whatever is left is theirs.
It's like we're scrounging everything up while we have them. And once they leave, we're going to fucking party. It's like, all right, now it's time. We're not sparing any expense on anything. Let's go party. Let's go fly. Let's freaking.
Yeah, like we've worked and busted our asses for this.
They'll be pissed.
And to leave it all just, to our kids. Oh no, we are retired.
You know what?
We are retired and we are living our life.
You know what? That's probably a good measure of if you're doing if you've done well parenting, is if you were to do that, how would your kids react? Because if you've parented the right way, your kids will be like, it's not my shit anyway. I'm doing my thing. Like, I'm an adult and I have my own family. I have my own career. Mm-hmm. That's the way I feel. You know what I mean? It's just, we do our thing, you know? But if they get pissed off because they're like, mom and dad are fucking blowing all their money. They've been partying. They've been, they're like, there's going to be nothing left for us. And be like, well, shouldn't have counted on that shit.
What's your future look like?
Yeah.
What kind of, what kind of career are you in? Because,
but no, that book, man, like that is the one thing that I started. It's like, you should be making it as difficult within reason for their age as you can. Like, they should be learning, making all the mistakes, learning all the lessons, getting put in timeout, and it should be.
He calls it a break.
Yeah, he calls it a break. But
it's a great book, Raising Lions.
If you guys would like to pick up Raising Lions, make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. You guys can subscribe to the show there. You can watch the show. You can listen to it there. There's a tab at the top that says support the show. If you click on that, it'll take you to our Amazon link. And anything that you purchase through that link doesn't cost you anything more, but it helps out the show. And you'll also see a link to Trust Inc.
And Trust Inc., we are a nationwide mobile notary agency. We do a lot of work with title companies and law firms. So if you are looking to refinance your home.
And who would they request that with? Is it with the title company or with their real estate agent? How do they request Trust Inc. for a signing?
They go through their title agency. So if you are refinancing your house, you could let your lender know, as well as your escrow officer. I would let your lender know, right away, just saying, hey, I would like my signing agent to go through, or I would like, my signing agent to be through Trust Inc. And then they could look up our information. You could give them my contact information and they could give us a call. And
that's trustinkusa.com. And if you've ever thought about starting a podcast, we host our podcast with Libsyn. That's Libsyn. And Libsyn hosts some of the world's biggest podcasts. And if you would like to give it a shot, you can enter the promo code OAP, and they'll give you the rest of whatever month you sign up in for free. And they'll give you the next month for free so that you can give it a shot. If you have a hobby, if there's something that you're passionate about and you want to, put out a podcast, because there's podcasts about everything. I mean, you could start a podcast about model airplanes. You could start a jiu-jitsu podcast. You can start a family pod, like whatever you're passionate about. And if there's not, then you probably have a pretty good opportunity. Yeah. So if you want to give it a shot, Libsyn, promo code OAP.
Yes. Yeah.
So there was something in that book, man, that he said, and he was talking about like disciplining, like when you have to discipline a kid when they do something wrong. And a lot of times like they do something wrong and there should be a consequence for it. But there's so many people that, with the new age parenting and everything being so soft, it's like, hey, you know better than that. You're not supposed to do that. Next time, I don't want to see that. And that's not good, right? Like from everything in the book, like there needs to be, they need to understand that they did wrong, that there's consequences.
Okay. Yes.
But the analogy that he gave was he related it to using a credit card and paying cash. Like when you are disciplining your kids, the hard thing to do is to pay cash. But if you punish them, like if they have consequences, if they understand, and it sucks. Like it sucks for us to ground the kids and fucking take the tablet and see them moping around the fucking house, and it sucks for us. Yeah. But that is the paying cash. Like it sucks now, but they're getting that discipline. They're growing. They're learning. But if you do hey, that's okay. And you know what? I was going to ground you for 3 days, but you know what? I think you learned your lesson, right? Yeah. Okay. That's enough. That's paying with a credit card because they're just learning bad habits, bad things. And you know when they're going to pay for it? Later. They're going to have to pay for it, but they're going to pay for it later when they're older, whether they have to go through therapy or they have to fucking talk to, somebody or whatever. Like, they're going to have to work these things out eventually. They'll have to pay for it then.
Right.
And when he said that, man, I was just like, oh, shit. Like, that, damn, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep. And two, having the parents on the same page as well as the teachers, like that there in itself is a challenge, because how many teachers are going to be willing, to read this book to learn? But I did send it to Joey's teacher.
Did you?
Yes.
That's cool.
I told her as a teacher, I
think she's got a lot of that shit down though.
Yeah.
She does.
She's pretty good.
She's one really of the good. One of the teachers that she's not a pushover.
Yeah.
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 Because I remember her. She was Audrey's teacher too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she's a good fit for Joey.
Yeah.
But that book, again, if you are a parent, I think every parent should have this book.
Yeah. So there was one time we were having dinner and we're sitting down and you just started talking to the kids. Like, so yeah, we're all sitting at the dinner table and you start talking to the kids about, like the stuff that I do. And like you're being sweet. Like you're being nice. Like you're explaining to them like, hey, not everybody has a dad like your dad, and then you just started going into it. Like,
I just started breaking it down.
Like your dad works hard. He works every day. He takes you guys to jujitsu. He does stuff with you. Yeah.
You'll take them to the park.
If we're eating something and you want it, he always gives you whatever's, he won't eat everything because if he knows that you want something, he gives it to you and this and that. And you started just going
that's
on.
What most dads would do. But there's things you do that a lot.
No, but you were going, like you were naming off like one after another, after another, after another. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Thanks. But it was instant. Like as soon as your mouth shut,
it was.
Audrey was like, Cody's dad's the same way. Wyatt, his dad does the same thing too. And so does
Thomas. So does Thomas.
And she just started bam, one after another. Like that's cool, but there's a lot of cool dads out there. She started naming. I'm like, what the?
So this is hilarious. Okay, so when we were outside having a conversation the other day, was it today? No, it was yesterday maybe. And I had brought that up.
Yeah.
And you want to know what I told her?
Dude, I just couldn't contain my...
Like, it was hilarious. Miguel was laughing his ass off.
As soon as she opened her mouth and started spitting other dads' names out, I started fucking laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
But you know what that has to do with?
What?
Let me tell you.
What's that?
Because then I talked to her. Because, babe, look where we are right now. Yeah. Her friends, a lot of the dads here in our neighborhood are present dads. They are... doing what they have to do. They take their kids to baseball games. They do this. They do that. Okay. But then I said, you know what? I said, you know why that is?
It's because we moved out here.
Yes. And I said, I want you to go take yourself back to where we lived.
Yeah.
When we were in Phoenix, and name some dads that you are, that you're aware of that are, doing, what your dad does.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, Thomas. Okay. That's one.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I was actually earlier today, I was watching this video. I can't remember the name of it. You guys can look it up, but it's by Joyner Lucas. You remember Joyner Lucas? He's a really good rapper, like very thoughtful, like some of his lyrics and the way, remember the $100 bill video? That one. Yeah. He did another one called I'm Not Racist, where he raps in the point of view of a white guy that doesn't understand exactly what black people are going through, and he does it from the black guy's side, kind of like showing like what white people may not understand. It was a really thoughtful video, really cool. But anyway, he made a video with it was computer animated with Ashanti. Was it Ashanti?
I don't know.
Or who passed away?
Don't ask me.
Anyway. It was Ashanti. I think he did it with Ashanti.
Because you said who passed away.
Yeah, I was thinking Aaliyah.
Yeah, that's who I was going to say.
Anyway, it's a newer video by Joyner Lucas. But in the video, it shows them like as a couple. And I mean, they're from the hood, right? So they're doing hood shit, like she's twerking. But together, they've kind of worked together to have some success and like...
They've evolved?
Yeah, kind of. But they still have that hood shit in them. Like they fight. Like he was fucking around on her and then she started slapping him. But the thing is that it's one of those, like when you're a couple and if you're from the hood pretty much. Mm-hmm. It's tough. Like to get both of you on the same page. Like if you're into fucking some shit and like, I don't know, man, it's the focus sometimes is different. You know what I mean? It's like spending money and trying to keep up with the Joneses and all that. Like it's hard to kind of get out of it if both aren't on the same page.
Right.
And it was kind of cool in the video because they kind of had all those fucked up, like you can see all the fucked up shit that came from their backgrounds.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like they were making it work together to get out. You know, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But you need both people, you know what I mean, to be working together to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Miguel and I took a trip to Mexico to get some of my dental work done. And we have insurance. But what's so crazy, even with insurance, it was more expensive here to get the work done versus going to Mexico. And some of you are probably watching this and saying, what in the world? You went to Mexico to get dental work done? Because I was like, I don't know about this. But I was talking to one of my friends and he, owns his own business and, they don't have the medical insurance. So he takes his entire family there and he referred me and I trust him. So we decided to go out that way and it was a crap load cheaper. But what was so crazy to me is that they were so thorough. Yes, they were so thorough, like making sure that I was comfortable, making sure that what they did was correct. I mean, they
double checking, triple checking.
Yeah, their X-ray. They would do X-rays afterwards because I had to get a root canal done, and I got 2 crowns. And the environment though was different. Like while he's working in my mouth, he's singing, and you can hear like laughter in the lobby. Like it felt like family. Like they all enjoyed what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I felt safe. And even when he asked me, when he was fixing the crown, he's like, how does that feel? Oh, that feels good. He's like, let me check again. Like, and would have me bite down. But he did that 3 times until I was like, that's perfect. But I didn't even know what perfect.
But you were still like, yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, that feels good. And he's like, no,
he
let me
wanted
check.
it to be perfect.
Like, yes.
That's good.
And when I walked out of there, like now I feel there's no tenderness. There's no nothing. Like it is good.
Nice. That's good. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. If you guys are interested, look up Molar City in Los Algodones and hit us up directly. We can refer you to the guy that we went to. Because that is one thing that he also said, that city, that little town, it's straight up medical, like all medical. And you have to know where to go. Like you can also look up reviews online. But he said that it doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while, because, people run scams, like a dentistry will pop up. They treat a bunch of people, get a bunch of money, and disappear. And then the work was kind of not the greatest. And he's like, but like he's been doing it for a long, I think since like the 90s, he said. And there's a lot of them there that are very good.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure you go to a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that was a good experience. And then afterwards, we went to go, visit our friends.
Yeah, we were in Yuma. We stopped by and visited some friends that we haven't seen in like 10 years.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Yeah, it was very emotional.
Yeah. It's the family that, we were talking about on one of the previous podcasts, and they've struggled with, like, the whole family got COVID, and they've lost some of their family to COVID, and it was tough. But it was nice to see everybody, and
it was
like, it's like back in 10 years ago. We just got together, and it was like 10 years ago.
I am sitting there talking, with the sister, and this family has a very strong faith.
Yeah.
Like it's just, it's beautiful. It's amazing to see how strong their faith is.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I said, how is it that you can lose your mom, your sister, and your brother within 3 weeks?
Yeah. It was about a month's time.
And still believe in God and it not shake your faith. And she said, my mom was such, she said at one point, like, that she did, but that her mom, before passing, told them, don't you ever second guess why God does what he does.
Yeah.
And she told me, because she shares the same birthday as her mom, and she was having this conversation with God, and she said, all I want is my mom to be home. That's all I want. And she said that when she was praying this, her mom ended up passing away after.
Yeah.
And she was a little bit upset with God. And she had a conversation with God. And God answered her, and God said, she's home. And it brought me back to the conversation that I had with God. And I tell you that, God, like, you can hear God's voice when you quiet the mind through prayer, your intuition, whatever you want to call it, the Holy Spirit. I think in life, like, we get so busy that we don't listen to that voice, and people don't understand how God speaks to us. Yeah. But she said that when I heard that, it was loud and clear. And all I can think is, I'd rather the kids believe in something than nothing. Because the only thing that is holding this family together is their faith in God.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you don't know, like, how would a family that doesn't have faith, how would they handle it? You don't know.
No idea.
You don't know.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, but you don't know.
I don't.
Like that's something that people always like, oh, I don't know how they, yeah, but you don't know. There's people that have been through a lot of different things and they survived.
I don't know. I don't know of any that have gone through what they've gone through.
In the history of the world, I'm sure there are. Right? There has to be. There has to be.
Sure.
With billions and billions of people that have been on the planet.
But I can tell you, more than likely, there's a higher percentage of individuals that have turned to drugs, suicide, have gone through depression.
Babe, drugs have only been
because a lot of times when someone goes through something, they don't want to think about it. Therefore, they find something that will numb them.
Yeah.
And a lot of times,
what about before drugs, before everything? Like, people still went through shit. There was still, like, I'm sure this is not the first and this is not the last pandemic that there will be on Earth. There's been several in the past. And there was several before, I'm sure. We were all connected the way we are today. I don't know.
Yeah. But just listening to her.
No, they did. It seemed like it helped them out a lot.
It's amazing.
So, I don't know.
And that, those of you that may not know, I'm very spiritual. I believe in a higher being, a higher energy. I believe in God. I feel God. I know God. I have that relationship with God. And, Miguel's not there yet.
Oh my God.
He's not there yet.
No, I'm not there.
But I don't see what's wrong with believing. Like, I rather have our kids believe in, like I said, something than nothing.
You know what? This is the thing. A lot of religious people talk about the truth. Like, this is the truth. This is the truth. Well, I don't believe that that's the truth. And if you're telling everybody that this is the truth, like, I don't think it's right.
What's the harm in it? I mean, because it's all good.
Yeah.
You know, God is love. God is forgiveness. God is compassion.
So I was listening to the book Raising Lions. That one argument a lot of time is like morality, right? Like morality. Like, where do you get your sense of morality from? You know, how do you know that things are right? Like, why don't you just go around raping and pillaging and stealing from everybody if you didn't know right from wrong? Like, where do you get your sense of morality from? Your sense of compassion? And everybody's, well, I don't know. And it must be God, right? That's what you hear a lot of. That is one of the biggest arguments. Have you ever heard that before or no? Because you're looking at me like I'm
looking
crazy.
At you like, yeah, because
because it is. That is one of the major arguments. It's like, how do you know right from wrong? Where does that
you're taught right from wrong?
Yes, but where does that come from? Where does it come?
I think it's internal.
Why don't you just take and, like, if you don't like somebody, you know, and I've always said it's just, you don't do to other people what you wouldn't want done to you. I don't want people stealing my stuff, so I don't steal other people's stuff. I don't want people beating me up, so I don't go around trying to beat people up. Like, it's just treating people the way you want to be treated. But in that book, Raising Lions, he was talking about kids. I don't know if you remember that part when he was talking about how when kids are very little, they don't have that sense of morality yet. You have to teach it to them. You have to show them that it's not okay to be hitting people. You have to show them that you can't just start snatching toys away from other kids. Like, that's not they get it from us. We teach it to them. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? That's something that they were talking about in that book. So, like, it's a taught thing.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like it comes down from the heavens.
No, but when you do get that relationship, I don't know. Like, I can feel the difference in me. I have more joy in my heart, and I'm more forgiving today. And I live in a state of gratitude.
So am I.
You know, but it's just,
I'm pretty grateful. I don't know. So
it's just different, and it's very hard to explain the peace that you feel in your heart, you know, when you have that relationship. Yeah. You know, I can pray for people and truly 100% in my heart want the best for someone who's done me wrong. I can pray for that person and just get in that state of mind where I'm actually in tears because I feel that this person is going through something. And regardless, they could have lied, they could cheated, they could have done me wrong, betrayed me. And I have that compassion for that person. And that I can only explain comes from God.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't that person before, but having where I'm at now and having that relationship with God, I can 100% feel for that person and want the best for that person and their entire family. And I don't know where that came from. And all I can say that's God, because that was not me before.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, it's crazy.
I've had those too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For who?
Just getting older, and like, there's different things that you hear, different things that you see, like, that affect you. Like, you start seeing stuff and you're like, man.
Now, I'm talking about people that you actually know who's personally have done you wrong.
Isn't it crazier to have feelings for people that you actually don't know? Because people that you actually know, and you feel bad for them.
I don't know.
But people that you don't know, you would probably have less of an attachment for.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking.
But I mean, I pray for everybody. If I'm on Facebook and I see someone's having a hard time, then I don't know. I will pray, even if I don't know them, like if it's a friend of a friend of a friend, or if there's a car accident on the side of the road. Like, I feel that compassion for the individual that's going through that. But what I'm saying is somebody who actually personally did you harm.
Yeah.
I would think it would be harder to pray for that person who personally did you harm versus the stranger on the street.
Yeah.
Because they did nothing ill to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be harder.
you know, but that's something that I've grown. I don't know. It's something that I've done, and I've done recently. And, you know, only God knows your heart, you know. Are you doing this to get like, oh, you're such a good person? No.
Yeah.
You know, it's coming from a deeper part of me.
Yep.
You know, that's not something that can easily be explained.
And that is one thing for me. Like, I'm going to do things because I feel like I should do them. Not because somebody's telling me or because I'm trying to go somewhere. I'm like, if I decide that I want to do something good for somebody else, that is me. You know what I mean? It's not like, and not expecting. It's like, here, this is what I wanted to do, the outcome, whatever. Like we were kind of talking about that, you know, like doing something for somebody else without
expecting anything in return.
An expectation.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, and that a lot of times, like I've gotten not set up, but because I don't know, I have a big heart, whatever. I can't expect everyone to be that way, you know? Like when I go out of my way to do something for somebody and feel unappreciated, like that hurts. That hurts. But what I'm learning is, and you told me that, Ed Cartoli talks about it as well, you know, and even in the Bible it talks about it, like doing for others and just not being emotionally attached to the outcome. So if there's no thank you, or, you know, if you don't feel that they appreciate it, it's just like, you know what, I did it because I wanted to do it, and that's it. You know, but that's something that I'm still learning because it hurts when I go out of my way, and I'm really excited. I'm excited to do this for this person, you know, and then to feel unappreciated, I allow it to affect me, which, you know, that's something that I have to work on.
So we were talking about that. So when you do something for somebody else, and like we were already talking about when, you know, you were going through something and we were talking about this exact thing. And I was telling you, like, you probably shouldn't be attached. Like, you do the thing because you want to do it. You want to do it for this other person, whatever, right? Now, if they like it, if they don't like it, if they complain about it or whatever, that has nothing to do with it. That, you know, whatever, who cares? Like, I did it because I love this person or I wanted to do something for this person, whatever. Regardless of the outcome, that's not part of it.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't react, I guess, is there a correct way to react? Because what I'm thinking right now is like, you shouldn't be attached to the outcome. But should you take a mental note?
See, but that's not me. That's not me. Like being, okay, I'm not doing crap for this person anymore because they don't appreciate
me.
Yeah. See,
is that wrong?
I'm not saying that's wrong.
Because it's kind of like, it's kind of like you shouldn't be attached to the outcome, but I'm still taking notes.
Right. You know what I mean? And that's you. Like, and that's not right either. It's being neutral, just being neutral. That's it. But that's hard. Like, that's difficult to do. And that's something that I'm learning, you know, just to not be attached to the outcome.
You know
what? But you saying what you just said, you're still attached to the outcome because you're feeling a certain way. Your heart is feeling a certain way.
I don't know. I just don't know. Because if you, like, let's say you have a friend of yours and you gave them something that you know that they would like, and they were just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. And that's the end of it. And then you're like, that's it? That's it? Okay, cool. Like, no fucking thanks, or, oh my, yeah, that's, you know, I appreciate it, or whatever. Anytime that anybody, like, I want people to know that I appreciate what they do. I don't know if you hear me on the fucking phone when I talk to people. I end every fucking phone call with, thank you for helping me. I appreciate you helping me. I want people to know.
Yeah.
People beat my ass in jiu-jitsu and I'm like, fucking thank you for, you know, kicking my ass. Like, it's
helping you
just
to grow, helping you to get better.
Everything. Like, people come to the fucking house to do stuff for us and I'm paying you and I'm telling, like, Like you're supposed to be like, I don't know. I'm fucking grateful.
Yeah.
You know, but if you have, like if you do something and you don't even get that, I mean, are you,
no,
are you taking notes?
No, you're not. No. And that's the thing. Like that's wrong too.
Because
I feel that's wrong too.
Because the thing is that like it's not like I'm expecting something, or maybe you are maybe you're not expecting something physical or monetary or like a gift back or whatever, but maybe you are expecting a show of emotion,
a show of appreciation
or something. Yeah. Is it wrong to expect that?
I feel that it is. I don't know.
It's crazy, right?
I feel that it is. Like,
because
I don't think you should be attached to the outcome, you know, kind of stay neutral, which is hard as shit. If somebody does something to you and you're tough. Angry and upset, like, it's like, you know what? I've learned, don't send the email.
We shouldn't have started this conversation.
Yeah. Don't start the email. Don't start the email. Don't send the text.
Listen,
don't send the text.
Don't start these conversations an hour and 5 minutes into the podcast, because now we got to go.
Yeah. To be continued. Yeah. Because this is huge. Like, this is big. And I'm sure a lot of people go through this.
Well, no, we were just talking about it earlier today or a couple days ago, but it's true. Like we were saying, don't get attached to the outcome, but expecting some kind of show of emotion or appreciation is expecting something.
Yeah.
Now, if you're taking notes, that's because you were expecting something, right?
Yes. That's good. You actually processed that.
I don't even fucking know. I don't know anymore. That's it. I'm not buying anybody's shit. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean?
No, you do it because you want to do it, expecting no outcome. That's it. Like, not being attached emotionally to the outcome. You did it because you wholeheartedly wanted to do it. And how they respond to it and how they react has absolutely nothing to do with you. And I can't wait till I get to that moment in my life where I am just like, I feel good because I did this. And it doesn't matter what they say, what they feel. I did it because I wanted to do it. I get it.
But if they keep shitting on you, do you keep doing stuff?
If your heart says yes, then do it. But if your heart is like, okay, let's give this person something
move
else.
On. Let's move on to somebody else that will appreciate it.
But you're not upset. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're not feeling a certain way. You're good.
Yeah.
Now you're going to go on and give to someone else because that's what your heart is telling you to do. And now you're you know, so yeah, that's it, man. I can't wait till I get to that day where I'm just like good with it. But there's so many emotions that we have inside and they're all okay to feel. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be happy, joyful, peaceful, all of that.
Hey, no, you left one out. You left one out.
Which one?
Angry.
Ugh. It's okay to be angry, but it's the way you control those emotions, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the whole, like, that's what I'm trying to get. That's where I'm trying to get to. Not only with, you know, myself, but with the kids as well. And just showing them that it's okay to feel this way. It's having to, you know, just come back to where you're okay.
Yeah.
And being able to let go. You know, and knowing that crying, for me, like crying is detoxing. It's just a detox for me.
It's like you're letting it out.
Yes. And after I cry and after I let it out, then I'm okay again. Now, if I'm crying day in, day out, and I'm not able to let go, then I know that I need to get some help.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's not okay to be depressed or stressed or, you know, out of control for months or, you know what I'm saying, even weeks. Like there's times where I have to take a week off.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But staying in that dark place too long is where, you know, you have to recognize, okay, this is not okay. This is not normal. I need to seek help. I need to talk to somebody who, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're getting to the end of the podcast. Before we get out of here, there's a couple things that I wanted to mention. So I signed up for that class that I've been talking about with MIT. And I was talking to my little brother today. And man, we are busy. Just, we talk about it a lot on this podcast. And I don't know if people get sick of us fucking talking about how busy. But the truth is it's go, go, go like all the time. And I was talking to my little brother today. And when I was just telling him that I had this feeling when I was signing up for this class that I was like, fuck, I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if I should do it because, it's not that I'm working a lot. I'm still working the same hours, but work is way more stressful. I have to think so much more. By the end of the day,
you're drained.
I'm drained. A lot of times. But there's that. Then there's jujitsu. Then there's the podcast. And there's a lot of stuff going on.
Business.
You have a bunch of stuff. The business, I'll help dropping stuff off or printing stuff from time to time. Cooking and all the things that a great dad does, right? Like all the other dads in the neighborhood. But no, like all the stuff. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't take this class. And then at the same time, I'm like, I better fucking sign up for this class before I think about it too much and don't do it. And I was just telling him, like, just fucking go for it. Like, for real. It is the truth. If you feel that you can't, you'll be surprised the shit that you can actually handle. The way that you can reorganize and get shit done.
Exactly what you just said, reorganize. Because you're adding something new to the plate, something else has to go. This isn't something I wanted to talk to you about because I know how you
Some of the things that may have to go is watching TV late at night for hours.
But we watch TV for maybe an hour and we're asleep because it's bedtime. So we don't watch a lot of TV. I don't know where you get that from. There's time in the weekends too. Yeah.
There's time in the weekend too.
And the time is when we're, cleaning and having to catch up. This is another podcast that we need to talk about. Because that's what I feel. If you add something to your plate, there's something that has to give, especially with the life that we're living.
Okay, so then what is more important then?
Exactly.
There's things that are not as important that can go.
Right. So those are the things that you're going to have to think about because we're also writing a book, an ebook.
Yeah.
So those are things that we have to figure out. Okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to let go?
It's just using your time more efficiently. And if you just, I don't know, at least for... you act like you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but there's so many times when I'm fucking sitting there going back and forth and back, just like I've talked about going to jiu-jitsu on Saturdays. Sometimes I don't feel like going, and then when you don't go, you regret it. But you never regret going. I don't regret anything that I've ever signed up for, and that I had to fucking bust it out and figure out how to get it done. Is there anything that you regret that you just went for? I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to fit it in, but I'm going to do it. Zero. There's nothing. Right? Is there anything? I can't think of anything because they've all been positives in the long run.
Yeah. No, it's all been good.
Maybe it's struggle needs to be a reason, in the moment.
And there's a reason why you're taking this class because this class is going to help us with our businesses.
Yeah.
And I want to do it with you. I just don't know how it's going to happen. Like,
all I'm saying is that in the long run, I don't have any, like, I've had this same exact feeling a bunch of times before.
Okay.
Where I'm like, I don't know how it's going to happen. And I'm like, fuck it. I know we can get it done.
Right. Well, because you got to think about, okay, am I questioning it because it's the lazy part of me that is like, or the part that doesn't have the self-discipline? Is it that part
and
talking?
Usually
or
it is that part.
Actually because we hardly have time as it is. So you have to process where this feeling is coming from. And if it's, which type of feeling are you having? Because if it's like, I'm lazy, I really don't want to do it, or you got to figure that out. And if it's that feeling, then you need to go for it.
Well, and maybe, do it anyway. You know what? Maybe it is the waking up earlier. That's where that comes in, or, whatever. But just like our kids, you're way more capable than you think you are.
Yeah.
And if you think you can't handle it, fucking do it anyway. Sign up for it and figure it the fuck out. And then, you know what? A few months from now or 6 months from now, a year from now, you're going to be like, you know what? I'm fucking glad I did it.
Yeah.
And I didn't fucking pussy out.
Yeah. Well, you got to have your goals in place too and know what you're aiming for. Because if you don't have your goals down, you don't know what you're aiming for, then...
Because the thing is that over time, you know what? That's too much. I'm not going to do it.
Next. You know what? That's too much. I'm not going to do it. Meanwhile, everybody else or a lot of other people are, you know what? I need to get this done.
Yeah.
You know what? I need to get this done. And then when you look at the two, you know, a couple years down the road, you may not notice a difference, but the one that's been doing shit here and there over time, they're the ones that have success.
Yeah.
The one that's like, you know what? I don't know if I could do that. You know what? I don't know if I can do that. And then they look back and they're like, I don't know what the fuck happened. What happened in my life?
Yeah. You know what we need to talk about on the next podcast is a conversation I had with God, because God's been trying to get me to go back to school. And and so that's something that I've been thinking about. And I told him, you fill my account up and I'll go back. And you know what's been happening? The account's been growing.
Yep.
So that's something that we should chat about on the next podcast.
And one last thing. So I got another promotion in jiu-jitsu. So I got no more promotions left on this belt. So my next promotion will be a new belt. I'll be a blue belt. So I don't know, man. They say in jiu-jitsu, like, a lot of times people don't feel like they're ready, but if your coach thinks you're ready, they promote you, you know? And that's just the humility part that you're just like, man, I don't know but if they see it in you, you should accept it and do the best you can. So yeah, that was fun. That was really cool. It was unexpected. And then something today in jiu-jitsu that coach said that I want to share, and, you know, I hope you guys, for those of you that are listening, it's a little bit longer, but I hope you make it to this point. But we're all sitting there and we're learning these moves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, there's a move called an omoplata. It's like it manipulates your shoulder, right? And it's awkward. It's an awkward movement to get people in that position. I've always thought that. And coach said that after 30 years of doing jiu-jitsu, he's like, I was never really good at the omoplata. But after 30 years, I started to figure it out. And I started using it. And then he got good at it. After 30 years of doing jiu-jitsu. Now, like this life. Is the thing, is that there's people that work their jobs. But the difference is, coach really does go to, like, he's already a black belt, several degrees. He's been training his whole life. But he scraps with people there. Like, he's teaching people. And we're all helping each other get better.
He's so good.
For 30,
he's just amazing.
But for 30 years to deliberately, like, go through, I mean, this is his career. Mm-hmm. And, like, dedicate your life to it. And even still, after 30 years, you're figuring shit out. And you're still learning more, and you're still getting better.
That's life.
Like, I'm thinking to myself, when there's times that I get fucking frustrated, it's like, dude, I just can't get this fucking move. It's like, dude, there was a move that he didn't get for 30 fucking years.
See, but it's funny because when Miguel talked to me about this, that's life. That's how life works. Sometimes sometimes it takes you 40 years to get it right. And sometimes it takes you 60 years. And sometimes it takes you 75. And sometimes you're on your deathbed finally getting it.
Yeah.
Finally getting it.
Yeah. So I thought... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, that's just, I don't want to be on my deathbed trying to figure it out.
So you got to be more intentional about the shit that we do.
Everything.
You know?
Everything.
But I just thought it was one of those things. I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
30 years. Still learning. Still getting better.
Still trying. Still going. Yeah. It's amazing.
So anyway,
congratulations, coach.
We all got work to do, right?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Anyway, thank you guys for being with us. Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Make sure you share the show wherever you listen to it. If you guys would leave us a review, that definitely helps us out, or leave us a comment or a thumbs up. Share it. If you guys want to give us a call, send us a message. You can call us at 480-912-5128. And, thank you for being with us.
And until next time, bye.